I think among the greatest traits of leaders that I've worked alongside are those who anticipate the unknown in ways that help others to be more thoughtful and critical in the decision making that we have. I can certainly speak to the gentleman to my right in this respect, but we talk a lot about big decisions or implementation of initiatives or activities. There's a splash and there's a ripple. A lot of people are really good at the splash. They know what the initial impacts are going to be or how to handle those first parts. The really great leaders that I've worked with and worked alongside see that ripple well beyond the initial. They see all the direct and indirect effects of what's taking place and even predict the kind of the unknown to a degree that sometimes can be amazing if it's something that you've not given consideration to. You often have to be around people who challenge you to think about all the things you've not thought about. We say in education, great success is, teaching kids what to do when they don't know what to do. And I think great leaders do exactly that. They really are pushing other people to think through what they don't know yet or what might happen based on a decision or an implementation of a particular thing. And I think that's one of the core attributes that you see in great leaders.
Great leaders to me is relationships to the people that are around you in that organization. And I think the tree of relationships of so many things, of listening and all of those different branches of relationships. And I think the root of that tree is trust. I think you got to trust that leader. And I think that I think there's a feeling between everyone in that organization that I trust you and you trust me. And all of a sudden, like I said, when things go tough and there are issues to be, I trust that you're going to make the right decision for our organization. And I think that then strongly means the relationship part, that you've got to have a great relationship with the people that you work with, to me, to be a great leader. The second thing is I think a great leader can't worry about failure. So many times we beat ourselves up when things go wrong and we're afraid to make a decision. Is it going to be popular or unpopular? I think a great leader has to know what's best and what's best for his or her people. And so therefore, I remember if you go in that little room right there, you have pictures of all the superintendents, and you look at Mr. Glenn Marlowe, that was superintendent for over 20 years. 20 years. I mean, I'm going on 4. I'm thinking, how in the world did he do 20? and I had to ask him one time. I said, Mr. Marlowe, how do you become a great administrator? How do you become a great principal? At that time, I was going to become a principal. How do you become a great principal? He looked and smiled. He said, well, you just make good decisions. And I said, well, how do I learn how to make good decisions? He says, you make bad ones. And he said, just learn by your mistakes. Learn what happens and always be reflective every day. I've challenged our administrators today, be better tomorrow than you are today. In anything you do, in every decision that you make, go back and spend a little time and reflect. What can I do better? How did that work? How can we improve that? But all of that's not going to happen, in my opinion, is if you don't have relationships. If you don't have that bond, and you especially don't have the trust of the people that you're working with and you're working for, because great leaders serve others. It's not that I'm telling you always what to do, it's we're working together. And many times I'm going to work for you, even though I may be the boss or even though I may be the top one on the chart. I'm going to serve you. And when I serve you, that bond, that relationship, and that trust gets greater and gets stronger.
I think the cornerstones of those effective relationships are just really strong communication skills, whether it be as the organizational leader or otherwise. But the key element, I think, that's often missed when we talk about the importance of communication and highly effective leaders is this idea of you have to know who your audience is. Communication is very different based on the relationship that you have with individuals. Many times communication is believed to be just what we're saying and how we're saying it, but not about who is doing the listening. Where are they in their understanding of what's taking place? Where are they in terms of their readiness for moving forward? I had a superintendent that once shared with me at a conference, he said, the measure of a vision is whether or not people can see themselves in the picture, which is all about this idea of, are we communicating in a manner in which they can hear? And that works when, as Mr. Caldwell was saying, you have strong relationships and trust with the people that you're working alongside and those who you're serving. In order that you've given thought to that level of communication, so that you know that you're not just sharing an idea or sharing words, but you're sharing a message in a way that can be heard and received by the people that you're working with.
And to add on is also listening, as I think when he talks about communication, and yes, spreading the word as far as communication, but it's so important to listen. Mm-hmm. Listen to every person in your organization, whether it's your leadership cabinet, the people who are working close to you, or whether you go to a school and you sit down, i.e. with a school custodian, a school nurse, a cafeteria, sit and talk to them. I think is communication, listening, and I go right back to communication and listening deals with that relationship and that trust and that bond that mm-hmm. leader has with his or her organization.
Okay.